This story is about a boy named Todd that was out playing in the neighborhood with his two friends. His mom always told him that when the streetlights came on, it was time for him to come home. But lucky for him, it was only just after lunchtime, so they had all day to play. They all went to the park that they had been going to for years, but stopped in their tracks when they noticed something different. There was this brand new red tube slide at the very top of the playground where there used to be this old rusty silver one. They were all super excited at first, but when they walked to the very bottom of it, they could hear this very strange noise coming from inside of it. Almost like this violent wind flowing through it, or the sound of the ocean on a stormy day. So they all began to dare each other to go down this red slide. But Todd's friends ended up chickening out, so to prove he wasn't scared, he decided he would be the first one to go down it. He climbed up the playground, and when he looked into the slide, he expected to see a little light that indicated the exit, but all he saw was darkness. But still, he sat down, closed his eyes, and pushed himself down it. At first, it was thrilling. It almost felt like it went straight down, but then it started to curve and he was spinning. But after 30 seconds, something did not feel right. Why was he still sliding? He began to call for his friends, but his voice just echoed throughout the red tube. He had never been claustrophobic before, but he suddenly felt like he was being suffocated. It was almost as if the slide was getting smaller and smaller the more that he slid down it. So he began to hit on the plastic sides to make his friends know that there was something wrong, but still no answer. He began to hear something moving in the tube, just slightly behind him. He at first thought that maybe one of his friends had gone down the slide after him and was slowly catching up, but that guess was quickly shot down when he looked behind him to see these two hands with incredibly long fingers crawling through the darkness behind him. And whoever it was, they were crawling headfirst down the slide, maybe about 4 feet behind him. But the slide was so dark behind him that it was impossible to see a face. All he saw were these arms and hands crawling, smacking against the plastic. Whatever this thing was, it was breathing so heavily, he could literally feel this hot breath against his back. And finally, after what seemed like an eternity, he shot out of the slide and into the darkness of the night. The thing that was behind him stopped at the very bottom. It was this dark, crouched creature with eyes that glowed in the dark like an animal. It stared at him for just a second and then crawled back up the slide really quickly. Todd looked around at the neighborhood. All of the streetlights were on, and in the distance he could see police cars at his mom's house. Turned out he had been in the slide for 9 hours.